I'm here again for a presentation. I prefer to be behind the camera than in front of the camera. I say it now, so don't expect much. I'm making a small presentation about scoping the game jam and how to finish in time without failing. Pretty much the important thing of the presentation, I would say. Disclaimer first. The following presentation is pure opinion. What works for me might not work for you. It's very simple. I know, I'm sorry. Blue screen, white text. Nothing is fact. If you disagree, that's totally fine. Everybody has different ways of dealing with time management, with scheduling, and how to deal with stress. And such a presentation is, of course, related to, okay, how can you manage with all of them kind of things? The goal: join a game jam and finish a game. It's going to be awesome. Easy. The reality: I have no time. I work full time. I do part-time game dev. I've got real life, family, commitments. How do we do this? So, I made a solution. Step one: schedule everything. My life is no life. My life is a schedule. Everything I do in life will be on a timeline. Step two: scope the game. Okay, how much can I actually manage to do within the time period I have? Step three: create as lazy as possible. No ego, no pride. If I can steal it legally, I will. And step four: if it don't work, scrap it and start over. Don't waste time. If it's not working, forget it, move on, try something new. Because the time you're going to spend trying to make what doesn't work is the time you don't have. And step five is to profit. Got to wait for the 1,000 downloads, got to wait for the money to come rolling in. We'll see. So this was my calendar. Welcome to my life. This is my weekly calendar, for example, before the game jam. This is pretty much how every week is for me this. I have on my calendar, I'm a very scheduled person. Working time. Everything blue is working time. Then yellow, I've got my game dev hours. What's always reserved for game dev each day. Okay, I have to do game dev for my game dev company. And then green is my real life for my entertainment. So this is my work and this is my entertainment on the day. Real life here is on Thursday my cleaning time and driving time. Monday to Wednesday I've got from 9 until 11 at night for playing games, having a bit of fun. And then weekend is family, relationships. You can always be careful with the relationships. You've got to keep time for that. And so this is my weekend. I mean, on the weekend, I allow myself maximum 2 hours of game dev. Otherwise, I have to have it in the weekdays. So, then we get to my calendar during game jam. Forget entertainment. My game dev is a second work for me. It's a company I have and I have to do something. I cannot sacrifice my game dev time for the game jam. Otherwise, I will go behind on my responsibilities. Okay, where can I take it in? So I get shut of my entertainment. So I take my entertainment away from Monday to Wednesday. Real life has to stay here. Still need to clean. Still need to drive. That's how it is. And relationship, family also stays the same. You can't affect my real life, otherwise you create problems. And I also take my game dev from the weekend out and turn it into game jam. So I've got 11 hours of game dev time, between 9 and 11 hours of game dev time for the game jam per week. I took 2 weeks. The 11 hours per week is also with the planning included. When it came to actual game dev, I spent 16 hours developing the game, and the other 5 hours was planning, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? What kind of, do I mean, and making the schedule, making the plan. So, step one is to schedule. Be realistic about your life and time. Sacrifice. The truth is, on a sacrifice, you never make a game. You cannot invent time from nowhere. If you're wanting to start making games, create a game company, you're going to have to sacrifice spare time, or you're going to have to sacrifice party time, or Lower your amount of work hours, so then you lower your amount of money to be able to do it. You cannot create time without taking from other places. This is a fact, and this is the part what gets most people. Never underestimate your actual life and how much spare time you have. Set priorities. So never sacrifice personal relationships. Sacrifice stuff that will not cause problems. If I have 1 hour less time scrolling on TikTok a day, it's not going to hurt me. Or if I've got 1 hour, 2 hours less time playing Elden Ring on the PlayStation 5, it's also not going to hurt me. Of course, it's less entertainment for me. But the priorities, of course, should be work, relationship, and then see how much time do I have left? Do I have enough time to actually do the game jam efficiently? And, be realistic. Only take on what you can handle and don't overscope. Never try and do too much. My result was I had 9 hours per week, 9 to 11 hours for 2 weeks for game jam and planning. That's what I said. Okay, feasibly, I can manage that. More would be either health risk because of no sleep, or relationship would suffer, work would suffer. So then we get to how to scope. How to actually scope the game. Again, be realistic and plan the game the amount of hours you have to build it. Set your game genre and complexity depending on how much time you have. If you've got, as I had 9 hours for 2 weeks, so 18 hours max. I'm not going to be making a management sim with 20 different buildings, with 40 different functions, with time, with or a survival game, with eating, with sleep. It's not possible. Okay, I've got a certain amount of time. What can I do? What's quick? Jumping, moving, running, maybe an enemy, maybe a gimmick, only if I've got time. Main important thing is get something done. Don't overscope. Always triple your estimates. This is very important. If you believe you can get that controller moving in 1 hour, give yourself 3 hours. If you believe you can get that level done in 1 day, give yourself 3 days. Because problems will arise. Always. There will always be lots of problems that come, and you cannot scope for problems. So I always say, triple every estimate, and then you're always on the safe side. If everything goes good, at the end of the game jam, you've still got 4 hours left. Yay, you can think about building a new feature in the game, but you've still got that game finished, so you're actually being able to present something. And if you can't create it, find it. Use asset packs. Go to Stack Overflow. Look for help for the code. Creation is good, but modification is better than nothing. Never go into a game jam and say, okay, I'm going to make all the sound effects. I'm going to make all of the models. I'm going to write all of the code myself. You're not. If you go in that way, if you're alone, if you've got a group, when you've got an artist and a programmer and the sound effects designer and this, maybe. But if you're a small group or you're alone, if you're going to go in with the mentality of doing everything yourself, you're going to fail. It's not possible. And I said, if it's not working, scrap it and move on. And sometimes your idea just is too hard for a game jam, or it's too complex, or it's just not fun. Don't waste time then fighting with yourself. Oh, I can make it. I know I can do this. I know I can do this. Say, hey, I haven't got time to say I know I can do this. It's not working. Scrap, simplify, start over. Some examples of create it lazy. Create models myself? Nah, not happening. Find assets. This is the way to go. Asset stores. There's so many free assets. We said you can buy some cheap assets if you want. There's so many Creative Commons Zero assets. That means you can use them for whatever you want. You don't have to credit. They belong to you, just as everybody else. There is so many on the market. Don't reinvent the wheel. If there's already a wheel designed, why design your own? You're making a game jam game. You're not making your passion project. Clean, smooth code? Nah. No. Keep it ugly. Make sure it's ugly as possible. It has to work. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Nobody's going to see it. And you're most likely never going to touch it again, so even you don't have to understand it. Because how many game jam games will be created into a real game? 1%? 0.5%. So don't waste the time cleaning your code. The time you're spending cleaning your code, you can make your next feature. If it don't work, scrap it. So I found this model, but it was missing a skeleton, so I couldn't create animations. But I thought, I'm pretty okay at that. I can make it. So I started rigging. Nah, nothing worked. The model was good, but the weight painting was completely wrong, and then I checked into the arms, and the whole makeup of the model on the arms was incorrect, and it was terrible. So I thought, nah, it failed badly. I wasted over an hour just trying to rig this model. So I thought, nah, scrapped it, found a rigged model, and used the assets. Also looks 10 times better than mine, let's be honest. And it worked. Got it done. And a profit. As I said, you can profit, just be realistic, respect your time, accept sacrifice, and you can also finish a game jam on time. I have the game here on my laptop if anybody wants to try it later. The code belongs to me, the assets don't, but they're all licensed, so it's legit. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
If you have finished your project earlier than expected, given your set 3 days for a feature and you just finished earlier, what would you try to do if there's spare time? For example, try to fix some bugs that are there for the final presentation or add in another feature.
Polish.
Oh,
Bug fixing, polish, because the truth is you will never see all of the bugs. And you haven't had any time. You haven't had any time to even look for bugs. You've just been creating. So if you've got 2 hours, if you've got a day, you'll make a feature. Stick something in there new. But if you've only got a few hours, focus on polish, focus on bug fixing, and just try and make what you've already got better. So, thank you very much then, and we'll prepare for the next presentation.